I think this is fascinating, Betty. The Man United boss, Ruben Amorim, is reportedly conducting an investigation into the player responsible for leaking team news. Amorim has overseen 2 wins, 2 defeats and a draw in the Premier League, plus 2 victories in the Europa League. And his job has been made harder with team news being leaked to the press before they play important matches, with the starting 11 for their clash against Man City being leaked the night before. After the game, Amorim said, "I know that story. I think it's impossible to fix. You have a lot of people in the club. The players talk with agents. It's not a good thing." Let's talk about leaks amongst the club. Does every club have a player that somehow leaks it to someone and it gets to the press?
Well, yeah, it's always the case. I mean, my only thing with things like this is that, yes, maybe certain teams and certain occasions, like cup finals or relegation battles or for the title, that bar 1 or 2 players, the team pretty much picks itself. So when you're doing your prep throughout the week, you do your shape on the Thursday or the Friday. Maybe Thursday you do the shape and then you do your old v young or whatever on the Friday. You pretty much have an idea of what the other team's going to do anyway. Like when I was playing, we'd play United or Arsenal or Tottenham, whoever we were playing. You pretty much know who their team was, bar maybe 1 or 2, but you could pretty much understand who you're playing against. But you got to think there's 22 players in the squad. There are going to be some that have been left out, and certainly the Rashford and the Garnacho one. The moment they were left out of the squad, they would have sent messages to people like, "You're never going to believe this. He's left me out of the squad," and you just don't know when you send it to somebody. You just don't know where that goes. But that's always the problem.
But I've been left out of the squad is completely different to this is the starting 11.
Yeah, because you have a conversation with someone. You go, "Oh, listen, I've been left out of the squad," and you go, "What? Who? Well, what's the team? Well, this is the team." And then you'd have the conversation.
So if
with
you're
whoever.
left out of the squad, you know the team.
Of course you do. Yeah. If you're left out of the squad,
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
you said that I've been in the dressing room. How would I know that?
No, but you'd pretty much get a gist if you're doing.
So Rashford would have said the conversation would have been, "Marcus, you're not playing. Okay, this is my team, Marcus."
Yeah, and I think the reason...
Why would Marcus know the team if he's not in it?
Because he probably would be on the opposing team, against the team, almost like you call it the B team.
I see.
So if you do team, and in that scenario...
So, can I ask, sorry.
In that scenario there, though, as well,
yeah.
you've got to think, Ruben Amorim, it's a new system. So as much time as he can spend getting that tactic 3-4-3 to work, he needs all the time he can get. So he's going to have to, at some point, have done a lot of an A team versus a B team, where this is the team that starts, you have to play against this team.
Is that always the way in training? More often than not always, that before a game, you will line up in a training session as the 11?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, just to go across 1 or 2 things. There are always occasions, and rare occasions, where he might put a team out there and then on the Saturday it's a different team, or there's 1 or 2 different personnel, but he just wants to look at 1 or 2 things. I've had managers that would almost... You know the team on the Friday, he puts the team up on a Saturday, same, you kind of know. But there are times where a manager might do a little bit of shape, but not much that he can read anything. And then all of a sudden on a Saturday, you walk in and bang, there's the team on the board and away we go.
How would you feel if you're in the dressing room and you knew, let's just say it was me, genuinely, let's just say it was me, you knew
that you're the right.
And I hadn't told you, and I was leaking the team to the press?
Yeah, of course, the players would say something to you, like, "What are you doing? Why'd you keep doing that? Like, we're all in it together, we don't need this." So that would be a problem, but I don't think any player would do that. No,
someone's doing it, right?
Yeah, but I genuinely think it's just a case of that. I think these guys are telling whoever that is there for. It's the person they're telling.
It's being leaked, right?
Yeah, but whoever the person is they're telling, you can't trust.
Give me an
person.
example. Explain it. So, for argument's sake, if it was me, right, and I was left out of the team,
and I'm telling your friend Fred.
Right, I'm telling my friend Fred, I ain't playing the weekend, I'm gutted.
Yeah, and he might then go and tell somebody else, who then tells somebody, or he's telling somebody else.
Right. Would it be my agent?
No, the agent depends really. It depends on the scenario, if the player's trying to get out or not.
Okay, but it's bad, isn't it?
It is bad, but you won't stop these things unless no player knows.
But you don't get it at every club, or do you?
Pretty much so. Every single,
do you really?
Every club, someone will tell somebody, "I'm not playing. This is not so much. This is the team, but I'm being left out. It looks like so and so is going to play." Like you'll never ever stop that unless the manager just doesn't give anything away, and then just on the Saturday, there's the team.
Chelsea used to have it every single weekend, and it stopped for some reason, and it hasn't happened for a long, long time. But every club has it.
Yeah.
So let's just say that the manager finds out who it is. What do you think he should do with that player?
Well, it depends on in what context they're doing it. If they're going straight to the press, which I don't think they are, but if they are, and he finds it out, then you got that they're not doing. They are clearly not a team player. So you need to either get rid of that player or leave him out.
How do you think the fans feel if they find out that player's leaving? Because there's no benefit, is there? The last thing you want to do is give the enemy any information.
Yes, but again, it's one of the with Manchester United. It's a bit different because they're still trying to know this new system. He's still trying to figure out his starting 11. He needs to know what his best
and
team
formation
is.
as well.
Formation.
Yeah.
With a side like, I don't know, Arsenal, it pretty much, when everyone's fit,
You're right.
it picks itself.
Yeah,
So
I could leak the Arsenal 11.
exactly. So you kind of know what you're up against. So if you need any more preparation, it's a bit like, what have you been doing? You've not been watching.
Yeah,
this
okay,
season.
that's a fair point.
But for Manchester United right now, he's trying to find the winning formula. He's tried Ahmed at wing back. He's trying Ahmed behind the front line. He's trying Casemiro and Ugarte or Mainu. He's trying everything. That would be frustrating for him because he's like, everything I'm trying, and clearly it did make a difference against City because you win the game. But not every game will be like that.
Are you saying it's impossible to keep it quiet?
Yeah, and unless
Is it really?
Yeah, unless you just don't. The manager just doesn't let it slip at all, or he starts testing the water and goes, "Let me just tell those three and see what happens."
Like Wagatha Christie.
Yeah, let me tell those three. Okay, leave that. Let me tell those three next week. And then if it gets out, you go, "Well, I know it's one of them three."
Okay. And if you were the manager and you found out who it was,
Yep.
what would you do with that player?
Well, clearly he's going against what I'm trying to do because he's clearly. It'd be more surprising if it was a player that plays week in, week out.
Right.
That would be. Say it was Bruno Fernandes.
That would be stunning.
Then
Because why has he got a problem to open
exactly.
his mouth?
Captain's got to go. That armband would have to go.
So anyone goes?
If your captain.
No, I'm talking about anyone.
Yeah, he'd have to go.
Get rid.
If you imagine he's your captain and he's leaking to the press.
Yeah, you can't have that.
No way.
But you're saying whoever it is,
Gotta
no
go.
good.
No
Get rid.
good.
You're saying get rid of the rat.
Yeah, you have to. Because clearly
Okay.
he's pulling in a different direction.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you. It's big though, isn't it? It's a big call.
Yeah.
Okay. Football fans and United fans, listen, some of you might just be listening to this thinking, what are you talking about? It's day-to-day football. That's what happens. There's nothing you can do about it. Or is there a big part of you that's thinking, new manager's coming, his ideas, he needs as much help as he can get.
Well, Ruben does.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So what my question is this, what do you do with the rat? All right? I know it's a horrible question.
Rat trap.
What do you do with the rat? You caught the rat. What do you do with him? Does he play? If he's your player, if he's a United player, if he's an Arsenal player, if he's a City player, do you want him to still play at the club? And I suppose a lot depends on whether or not he's a big name. If you found out, for argument's sake, it was Odegaard at your club, you can't get rid of Odegaard.
No, just thinking, right? But it comes down to a player's character. But this was a difficult one as well because on a Friday, and it's happened to me. I've seen it happen to other players.
Yeah.
You might come in off the training pitch on a Friday, and the number 2 comes into the dressing room and goes, "Hey, Benty, word," and the rest of the players go, "Oh." Now that can either mean one or two things: either you're playing or you're not. Now, when that player comes back in, a lot of players would have probably waited to see.
Has he got a big smile?
Like, let me see what the reaction is. And 9 times out of 10, you'd come back in and like someone would go, "What did the gaffer say? What happened? I'm not playing tomorrow. He's left me out." So then I've told 5 or 6 in that dressing room.
Yeah.
So how do you police that? Do you know what I mean? Because
Okay.
every like a player that's been playing a long time, usually, if they've been in the team, but they're going for a bit of a bad run, but they've been in the team for the last 6-7 games, and then we call it the curly finger. That was always what it was called, the curly finger for number 2. Yeah. If you get called by the manager, it probably means that he's going to give you a rest this week. That'll be the speech.
Do you as a footballer, you can't be told an hour before kickoff if you're playing?
If what?
You can't be told an hour before kickoff.
No,
if you're playing?
you need to know. No,
you need to know.
I was one. I like to know because I like to prepare. But then managers sometimes don't tell you that because they want everyone to prepare the same.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. There's a rat in the team. What are you going to do?
If there's a rat in our dry team, who do you think it'd be?
That's a great question.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.